Start players that I can remember in my time, one of them being the crafty Cockney, Eric Bristow. He was from London, and he was a great dart player. And the thing about Eric Bristow was, you know, he was very well liked. He was very outspoken about his play and what he was going to do. A bit like Muhammad Ali in boxing, you know,
right.
Very predictive about, oh, I'm going to do this, do that, and do the other. And you know what? 99 times out of 100 he did. But yeah, he certainly made a living at throwing darts. He and many others at that time.
Right. Let's pop up another one of these because we're going to talk about these two players in a minute. Who's that?
This is John Lowe, and John Lowe is also English. John Lowe's still throwing darts, maybe not just as competitively today as he did 25 or 30 years ago, but John Lowe's also a legend in darts, and people would remember him, and anyone that was interested in darts would know who John Lowe and Eric Bristow is. The greatest, for me, the greatest Scottish player in those days, say 25, 30 years ago, was Jockey Wilson. I don't know if you ever heard of Jockey Wilson or not, but Jockey Wilson was world champion 2 or 3 times, and he was a wonderful thrower.
Is he like the George Best or the Pele?
Oh yeah, very good, George. Yeah, and a very likeable and lovable, small, pretty overweight guy. You know, so he had all the what do I say? He had all the that you have to be a dart player. Fat, small, right, smoker. Sometimes you didn't know whether he was going to throw a dart or throw a cigarette. You know, he was a really jovial person and a nice guy.
So what about, who are the big names today? Just give me a couple of names.
Would be the biggest name today would be Phil Taylor, Phil the Power Taylor.
Right.
And you probably have heard or read about him, you know, at some stage. And he has been world champion for something like 13 or 14 years in a trot.
That's unbelievable.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So he's quite a wealthy person now, Phil Taylor. But younger players are coming through to challenge him, and this year especially, he has been beaten a few times, which, you know, you would never have heard of a few years ago.
Right.
He was practically unbeatable. But an awful lot of the dart players now are coming in with the amount of money that's in the game now. There was never really a money game, but the amount of money that's coming into the game now, and prizes and funds and sponsorships, there's a lot of people coming in now from Europe to play. So you've got really good players coming in from Holland. Darts is very popular in Holland. And of course you've the Australians coming in, and there were 1 or 2 Canadians. You know, it's getting now, it's very global, and I guess that's because it's an easy game. It's practice makes perfect, as it does in most things, and these guys can stand at 5-6 hours at a time at the board practice, and they know at the end of the day that they're going to acquire a standard that's needed to play professionally.